Yeah, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. We can start?
Yeah, ma'am. It's good to go.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. And nice to see all the participants for this. We have 44, which is good. I expected more to join because this is a very pertinent topic. And you know Kritika, so I will not introduce her. But thank you, Kritika, for taking this initiative. It's a superb initiative, I think, need of the hour. And students will need it more and more. So over to you, Kritika, before wasting any time, because I think we are already delayed by 5 minutes. I'm sure every minute is precious. And thank you so much for choosing this topic, working on it, and I'm sure students will gain a lot. So over to you, Kritika, and thank you once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the screen visible to everybody?
Yeah, and we keep the rules of the presentation the same like other webinars. If you have any important questions on a specific slide, please put them in the chat box. And in case you think that the discussion can happen later, please keep your questions in the chat box and the discussions can happen after her presentation is over. And in case you feel that you need to interrupt the presentation because your question is very, very critical, put it in the chat box. So all the participants are requested to use the chat box and keep themselves muted for all throughout the presentation. We will unmute everybody. Kritika, I think you can unmute everybody after your presentation for question answers. Okay. So over to you. And thank you everyone for being here. Nice to see you all of you. Okay. Over to you, Kritika.
Yeah. Uh, Topic for the today is brand yourself using the power of social media. As we all know, it's the need of the hour. In the crisis, we need to brand ourselves. It is an employer market. Everything is uncertain post COVID. So, it be it be any role you are, be it be you are fresher, you need to be pulling the market and not going for the jobs in the times coming. So, we all know that it is a tough time. It's okay to feel sad, stressed, confused, scared, or angry during the crisis. But the way we conduct ourselves during a crisis adds to and augments our image. India has experienced world's largest lockdown with 1.3 billion asked to stay at home to combat deadly COVID-19. But these extraordinary, unprecedented, and disruptive times call upon us to do different things differently, thereby presenting us a unique opportunity to strengthen ourselves. But it has opened a wide era of plethora of opportunities to go across boundaries or global boundaries and learn what all we can. There are a number of options to upskill yourself. These are the various premium educational edutech platforms where you can have your courses in done. We have recently been launched by IMB as well, my captain. So we have plethora of opportunities to upskill ourselves. Upskill is the key in the times coming. As I said, that it would be an employer market. They would look for the people who are learning. They are the learners and adapt to any situations quickly. These skills would be these qualities would be looked upon by the employers. And you, while enrolling any course, you need to go for specialist skills because you would not never you would nowhere land if you have the basic skills. So also you need to understand that qualifications would become a mere entry point, and if you need to think of long term, the specialist skills would land you to the success. What all skills you should look for? You should look for digital skills as the tech industry would see an evolution altogether. EduTech, AI, AR, VR, all these are the things in the coming future. Or you may go for courses for creativity and innovation, because in the times of difficult times we need to see what we are and how can we innovate to solve the problems we are facing. So innovation is the key. How innovative you are seeing by the employer, that is must. And other important skill you should look upon is collaborating and communication skills. We all know the people have gone for work from home. The Facebook has already initiated and decided to go half of its employees work from home in the coming future. So they have known that digital is the key. And if we talk about recruitment processes, if we talk about the hiring processes, only 4% of recruiters don't see the social media in the recruiting process. 92% are aware that they would get a quality employees through social media. So these are some facts from Harvard.com, that how many of employers look for various social media platforms where LinkedIn tops the list. As we all know, LinkedIn is a largest professional network, and we need to tap this platform. We need to explore this platform in our advantage to go about. Now, you are not the only one who is applying for a specific job in a company. There are thousands and thousands of people applying for a profile in a same company, and you try to say with your CV that pick you, and why not others. So your resume nowhere lands you in today's time. It would be the personal brand which would link you, which would give you advantage over others. So what is a personal brand? A brand is more than a logo. It's a professional image to the world based on what people see, hear, and experience about you. When people interact, they gather impressions about each other in terms of expertise, creativity, communication skills, and general demeanor. The collage that emerges from this combination of impressions represents a personal brand. Now, if we talk about the term brand, the brand word has been derived from a Norse word called brander. This brander word means to burn. In my classes, in my branding classes, I often ask students, how does to burn relates to brand? And the funniest of the answers I have received is to aag laga dena. Yes, we need to have an explosion in the market, but it would be through our quality content, through our unique identity. Then only you will stand out from the general audience and the millions of people applying for the job. So we here understand why a brand, why a common name you have, say Kritika Nagdev, is would be a brand if and if only if I have something unique to portray in my market. Now, the market here is your target audience, where you wish to apply, what people you need to network with. If you are looking for some opportunities related to projects, what projects you would like to be interacting with. So accordingly, you need to decide your target audience and set yourself and position yourself differently from others. So if you do this, you would be certain, be different, and have wings to your and extraordinary powers will make a pull strategy work in the marketplace. So here we say that your push strategy is not a thing in the real future. It is the pull strategy you should work upon. And how do we create a pull strategy? When we have something different. In today's internet driven world, the standard resume cover letters aren't enough. You need to showcase your work expertise even before you are hired. So people look for just a Google search gives them an answer to hire or not, or to shortlist or not. That means building a personal brand highlights your accomplishments, establishes your credibility, and the best place for this to start with is going online. So we understand why social media is important to us. Now, coming to how do we make a personal brand? What are the ingredients to make yourself a personal brand? There are three simple steps, but very crucial steps to go forward. The first step is knowing yourself. You need to find your niche and embrace it. There is no one size fit answer for this. I cannot say what is good about you. You need to answer it yourself. You need to identify it yourself. If you don't identify, if you are not able to identify, you have to develop it. So, Dan Chauvel, the author of best-selling title "Promote Yourself and Meet 2.0," specifically quoted, I think professionals need to reflect on the experience they have had and direction they are heading into. If you don't know how you want to position yourself in the marketplace, then social media won't help you. Have a set goal, decide on your niche, value proposition, then your social profiles, then have your social profiles reflected. If you work upon vaguely in in general, posting anything on the social media, that would not work upon. That has to be related to your specific goal or the career goal specifically. So you need to decide what exactly you are good at. You need to explore. The Dan also suggested we need to look back at our previous experiences, interests, ambitions, and then come up with purpose underlying and driving your career goals. There would be a inline thing which is common from your childhood. What all you had liked from your childhood, what gives you, what makes thrills you to do, what drives passion for a particular work. So you need to identify what you are most excited about. So there has to be a purpose. Without a purpose, a brand is no brand. It is of no existence. A very important piece of advice on this point is it need to get very specific. It comes to choosing what you are sharing with social media. If you are not specific, it would not lead you anywhere. For example, if you define yourself as a consultant, then it would be very hard to stand out and also find something interesting to share. But if you define yourself as a strong startup consultant who believes he can fix the gap between brilliant ideas and the real life implementation, then your perspective shared on social media is more likely to resonate. So we need to the key here is we need to identify what we are good at, what is my niche, what is different from others I can do, so automatically you would shine in the market. The next step here is show. Once you have identified, you have to showcase it brilliantly. So we all already know a resume is of no use in current times. If you get seen thoughtfully demonstrating your knowledge, expertise in a thoughtful front-facing way, it would be better for you. Here we use the approach of storytelling. The approach of storytelling is nothing but to engage your audience more effectively and showcase what you are good at. We need to develop a point of view and then communicate it clearly by writing on social media. So, if you are discussing about showcasing yourself, com- the community wants a social proof. How do I know that your resume says you are creative? How do I know you are creative? So I need a social proof for the same from your social media platforms. Your social media platforms should reflect that you are indeed creative. You can visualize things and be creative with whatever work you are given into. So we need a social proof. That's why you need to showcase on social media. The jobs, the actual jobs on LinkedIn lie in your third and fourth degree connections. So how can you portray to that level of degree of connections? You need to showcase your expertise and knowledge, and then your first degree connections would automatically spread the word. If not, creating content, if you are not good with writing, if you are not explored yet writing about yourself, yet writing about the topics you love, yet you can share the already the written post, the articles, the media coverage, where you can give your opinion about it. You will be known by the articles would you share. The person would know that yes, this person has this kind of perspective by the articles you have shared on LinkedIn or other social media platforms. So we need, or you may, if not sharing, the next step is you may interpret the things and simplify the concepts and write. If you have heard the term, if there is a specific term in the market and people are unnecessarily using it, we have just explored this term quarantine. In initial phase, the people were recklessly using quarantine, love being quarantined, but he did not know what is the actual meaning. Just it was following up the buzz in the market and using the phrase. So you can resolve and help the community by simplifying the difficult or the concepts that would also give a right impression of your understanding levels, of your knowledge levels. So that's another way. And everything you write on all your social media platforms or whatever platforms you have selected for yourself, everything has to be aligned to one topic, the purpose, the strength, USP you have identified for yourself. Share. You need to write, and also interact with people. The interactivity would also show how you respond to others, how you help others. So that is also a way to showcase. The third phase is the grow phase, which you long for. In this grow phase, you leverage the accessibility and the flatness of social media to reach out and seek connections in vertical. But the luminaries, the inaccessible luminaries in the field might not be as out to reach out as you think. It would not be easy to connect with them. So we don't have to ping them unnecessarily. This is my resume. This is I am good at. I want to apply this job into your market. As we said, we need to create a pull. So we need to connect with like-minded people. We need to have, we need to see what opportunities they are providing. We need to learn more about crafting, build rapport with them, showcase your skills, position, and passion for the sector, helping others, and you need to increase your visibility by interacting with the maximum. Please make
कर
sure
रहा
you are also helping
हाँ
others, and that is also a form of network. We need to have
हाँ
we have to have meaningful conversations.
बहुत ठीक बड़ी खुशी हुई मैं बहुत वो चीजों को छोटी छोटी खुशियों को समझ गया
Raman sir, will you please introduce yourself? Sorry to interrupt.
बहुत बड़ी बात है ये बात बताऊं जरूरी नहीं है कि तू हंगर फॉर सक्सेस होगी तभी सक्सेस होगी सक्सेस तुझे वैसे ही अगर लिखा है ना तेरे में मिलेगी मिलेगी एंजॉय करने लगे लाइफ हाँ वो तो मिलना ही है बहुत बढ़िया
Yeah, it is done, I think. So we have discussed no and show. We were discussing about the grow phase. So we need to network with them more deeply through content and leave a memorable impression. Once we have left a memorable impression, we will surely, with time, it is no short-term goal or short-term way to achieve on social media. It has to be, we need to have perseverance. But automatically, with time, you would see opportunities coming in, maybe with projects, maybe internships, maybe jobs. You would get to have opportunities when you have a memorable impression on your network, on your social media. So it would be through organic, it would be organic in nature. You don't have to go for LinkedIn Premium or any other premium memberships. You would have automatically your networking working in. But the key is perseverance and faith. Personal branding success is something that takes time and effort, where social media is concerned, patience is the virtue, is not a virtue. It is a necessity. We don't, it is not by the nature that we have to wait. It is a very much necessity with social media platforms. If we talk about market in digital marketing as well, we have to wait the SEO to work. We have to wait for all our strategies to work. It is not in a day that you will be hired or in a month you will be hired. You have to have patience and build strong brand of yourself. Then only it would work. For all those who are still struggling, what am I good at? The answer lies in a quote from Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. Here's a clip I would like to show to you all.
I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did.
We are going to make it or break it based on whether we can provide products to higher education and services and relationships to higher education that no one else provides. And I think we ought to spend 100% of our time thinking about that. And if we can't do that, then we ought to go broke.
And so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, and don't settle. So keep looking, don't settle.
I hope you understand the value of identification of your niche, identification of what you are good at. So keep looking within yourself, self audit what actually you are good at. look at the crucial areas what you always like. You may be very much interested in the topics which were taught to you very specific, and you are inspired by the teacher. So you need to find out why it had happened. You need to explore within. You need to explore within the three crucial points to establish your personal branding statement. The values, goals, and experience are the keys that has to be present in any bio, be it be even your resume. If you reflect clearly these three crucial points, it is the way to go. The headlines of your LinkedIn platform, the social media description you mentioned, that has to be of minimum of the length, that is, if less than 30 words in length. One to two sentences that sum up your values, goals, and experience that make you unique. The values you have to work in the culture, in the organization culture you want to be in, the goals you have, if precisely you can mention your long-term goals, the experience that make you unique. You have done lots of things. You need to summarize it very precisely in the experience, in the learning you had from that experience. So if you have done this right, it is the way to go. Now, coming to the part of storytelling and branding, there are four steps to it. The first step is sketch out your story. You need to work upon the message you want to give out, adapt it to what people want to hear, because it is the people who would listen. I need to concentrate upon how would they like to listen to. Draw out who you are, highlight your accomplishments, which are peculiar in nature. Determine your ideal goal. Shape your online competitive strategy. In and all, you need to embarrass your strengths with minimizing your weaknesses, turning your weaknesses into your opportunities. Say, for example, you may be a learner, you may be a go getter, you may be an enthusiast. So you can only be one out of these. Say these are just few examples. So if I am a learner, how I can showcase what all I have learned. I have many specialization qualifications. I need to show myself as a learner. I'm always evolving or interested to learn new things, exploring new concepts. So you need to portray it like that. So what accomplishments you need to show with regard to that? You need to determine your end goal. Will you be learning all time in your career? Will you be how your learning can help the organization you need to draft? That would be your competitive strategy. If you are a go-getter, you need to point out where how you have grabbed the opportunities, how you have been successfully organizing various events in your school and college, how it was tough, how what learning did you get from experience. You need to sketch your own story. It is your story. You should be reflecting it, not just Google. Now, sketch out your story. After this sketching out your story, you need to build an experiential connect. When we are talking about experiential connect, reader must be able to visualize your experience. If you remember the Avengers series, why do we all like Avengers series? They are all sci-fi. It is nowhere real. But yes, we are thrilled upon seeing it because they are able to create, visualize what they are talking about. They are able to have an emotional connect with you. But while we talk about your personal story, it has to be logical as well. We cannot say, hey, we cannot say that we can do this, but actually we cannot. So it has to be logical. How you can be logical while getting into emotional contact, connect. You need to connect the dots of past, present, and future. Say, as I said, if you are a go-getter, you need to connect dots from your childhood, how you have always been a go-getter, and how this quality of yours, this uniqueness of yours, will help the organization in future. Say, for example, you are very much you are an analyst and an analyst enthusiast. So you need to connect the dot with the past as well. You need to have your show your accomplishments related to points, related to the quantitative things which you have always been interested in. You need to show how passionate you are about the numbers. So that would actually give a sequence of activities, build credibility as well, and create an experiential content connect, and also yet be logical in nature. It would nowhere be sci-fi. Make sure your content is relevant, consistent, and qualitative. As the key here is, you need to portray, align one topic, one USP to all your stories, to all your networks. So you need to be consistent and qualitative. Now, the next is, let's do the talking. Let's talk about what you can do. All this is that, yes, we have heard about. What all you can do is the next thing you need to portray yet before being hired. Network with opinion leaders. Say, think what they are talking about. Analyze what they want with the employees to do for their organization. The group discussion in accordance to your centers of interest. Here, I would point out to a very specific tip that you need to shortlist what level of engagement you would want from social media. Accordingly, you have to choose a specific media. Say, for example, uh, I'm a photographer. So I don't think so. LinkedIn would be appropriate to engage on that platform. There may be some unprofessional mediums, not so professional mediums, which would help you more. So also, so the key here is you need to select one appropriate platform, or minimum of the platforms you would like to create engagement with the employers. Repurpose content that helps you create usable content at scale. What is repurposing content? We often see on various social media platforms, people reshare on various other accounts their popular or their praised content. So if you had written a blog and it reached a hit, it had maximum viewership, it has maximum comments, that means engagement, it had maximum of the call to action, as in conversion rates. So you need to repurpose it, uh, mark them into pieces, break them into pieces, and connect with the audience again and again with one of your popular content being created. So repurposing is important. So appreciate and help the community. As we said earlier as well, we need to appreciate if someone has written a blog, if and it is talking sense to you. You need to comment what do you feel about. You need to, and it is a key for all the social media platforms, be it for businesses, be it for your personal branding. So if you appreciate what others are doing, the people would get to see you. The people would get into your profiles to see you. And you need to help the community. Helping is the other form of networking these days. The last but not the least, keep going for more. There is no end for success. We need to monitor and share your personal and industry headlines. You need to be very much consistent. Say, for example, you got a job by creating your personal brand, but is it the end? No. So we need to keep going for it. We need to build reputation for my long-term identity. It is not just the short-term goal I was working for. I was working for a long-term goal. So keep sharing what all you are doing in the job you are into, what all you are experiencing, learning through it. If you are inactive, you are gone. Your personal brand is again at the risk. So no longer take a step back. Once you have started, built it, go with it. It takes time and effort. It takes much of your hard work. But yes, it is very fruitful. And beat the Google algorithm. Do you feel Google algorithm is the most powerful thing? No. If it is your story, you need to create your story. If you search your name, it should be your post. It should be your created content that should be resulted in the top resultants in the Google search. So you would be able to beat the Google algorithms once you create a great social a great personal brand. So these are the key and the most important things that would create much of engagement. It is just not writing about what you have done. And many of us look for recommendations in my LinkedIn profile. Do you feel that recommendations work? I feel no. That is a sponsored recommendation in a way. It is a sponsored ad in a way. That recommendations are just on the basis of the person you know. That employer never trust those recommendations, but see how do you interact with others, how do you portray yourself, how do you help others. That is the key on the LinkedIn. The important point here is this take time. So stay on track by developing strategy and processes for sharing good content over and over. Remember to engage and build relationships. You establish better thought leadership and have your brand on top of the mind. Now, do you feel that Instagram cannot be a platform to build your personal brand? I feel no. Instagram in these crisis times as well has the maximum engagement. Facebook is nowhere in the list. And if you have something to be shown which can be creative enough, you can explore the leverage, the power of Instagram for building your personal brand. Here's a profile which has been created by this girl, Ankita Chavla, specifically for hiring herself. This is her creative way of displaying what she is good at. So I just explored, I have just recorded it for you. See how creative she has been done. And all these posts have been posted on a single day. And she has yet created a strong story. If you see, she says now hired. Now, if you see about me, a image and a story with it. She's a graphic designer, photographer, and just all around a fan pretty of things. She is engaging with these words. If you continue, I'll just continue with it. If you will see her profile, you will get to know that how impressively she has put forward a story to create a memorable impression. If you see here, she has listed from where she has done her graduation, what she is good at in advertising. She is actually, these captions are creating a story for her. So things I'm still improving. She has specified in the image and giving the description about that the benchmarks are important, and she improves her performance through those benchmarks. She may not be good with poetry, but she has given the link to it that she has an interest for it. Now, if you see here, she has connected the dot, the past, that the mom bought DSLR for her in 2013, and that became her passion. Every one of us love entertainment, love music, love binge watching. So why not give forward? Why do you love? What content do you love? That would also give an opinion about it. She is a social media influencer. So interest for collecting matchboxes can also be portrayed as a unique thing. I don't say this is the ideal way to do it, but yes, it is one of the way you can explore. So even Lady Gaga, she has connected to her strength and inspiration. If you see, all the posts are January 31, 2019 dated. This is a unique way of listing the superpowers and giving them blank that have you may have new learnings in future. Giving a proof of photography. Now see, basically, if you read the last line, with troubleshooting cars, the only Avenger Marvel forgot to cast. So she is looking for the casting being done here through this social media platform. So this was most of you can explore through even the most engaging platforms you all are hooked up into in all times, all company, in all your time, in all your day, where your parents are complaining that you are always on your phone, and you can always say that you are working on your personal brand if you are working on Instagram to build your personal brand. So coming to the professional networks, coming to the professional networks, and if we talk about LinkedIn, showcase you need to showcase original work through writing and photographs. List achievements, skills, group all things that show you who you are. Make it personal. Add photos, contact information that should be reliable enough. On Facebook, you may create a professional page to highlight your talent. Invite people to like, follow, and page. Keep it fresh, provide good mix of content. Say if I am good at advertising, right, I can share interesting content video ads that may interest me, that is related to what I look for in the market. I can share that. So if you keep it fresh, you would be active on these social media platforms, and being active on social media platforms is the key to have success on these. On Twitter, it is of creating an engaging content. People would not see your post if they are not engaging. Follow people, topics you are interested in, interact with the followers. One key on social media platforms is comment on each and every feedback you are getting into. If you are getting DMs in your Instagram account, if you have made for personal branding, comment on each one of these. Answering or giving feedback or interacting with all is the key. There's a person called Gary Vee. He's a digital marketing consultant, expert, TEDx talker, and what all. He explored these social media platforms when the digital boom was taking place, where using these platforms, YouTube channels, he converted his wine business into $1 million company. And he talks about various strategies on n number of mediums. And the key here is you need, he says, from 2003 to 7 or 8, he was replying to each and every platform. But after that, when he is present on n number of platforms, he could do. But that is the key that people would look into, that people would praise or give acknowledgement that yes, the praise, the feedback the person has given, you are acknowledging it. So that is the major key on any medium, on any social media, be it be for personal branding, be it be for your business, establishing your business, anything. But if you need to have social media running for you, you need to remember a few points, that you need to have interactivity, you need to be active, you need to be keep sharing, and patience and perseverance. These are the various keys for any social media platform. And a bonus tip for you to start with: leverage the benefit from 2 to 3 channels only. Don't explore all the options, don't explore each and every page. You need to concentrate upon a few which would leverage most of the engagement for the target audience you want to engage with. What all common mistakes we do on LinkedIn? We provide incomplete information. So it is, the algorithm says this is a beginner level profile. And connecting with the random users. You need to connect more with, of course, friends are dear to you, but connecting with the people of interest who are not generally feeding anything to the mediums. If they are seen linked with you, it gives a bad impression. Over embellishments. You are over promising about what skills you have. So that is a false statement or false information you are giving. No profile picture. How can I connect with a person I cannot visualize anything about? Not modifying your URL. There are often we often see that your nicknames you mention while creating profile get hooked up in your URL, LinkedIn URL. So please check yourself about your LinkedIn URL that there is no nickname involved in it. Being inactive. So if you are inactive, they would uh, not be so promising to give you success. Now, if you have done it right, if you feel you have created the personal branding can help you land your dream job. 6 in 10 employers won't call you for an interview if they don't find you online. For in 10 employers report that good online content results in a job offer. So what all would help you hired through these social media platforms is your creativity, what people are posting about you, professional online persona, qualifications supporting the job, of course, being necessary. Some few personal branding pitfalls: lies about qualification, post about drinking, drugs, proactive, provocative content, bad grammar and spelling, discriminatory comments, and unprofessional names. You don't have to form opinion about something which might be controversial. So if you fed into your post a new life achievement, say in Facebook, you have entered a new life achievement, and it would give the search resultants, the ads you will get, or the interactivity you will get is through related content you post into it. So you need to double check the pages you follow. You need to see what you are going for, what the sensitive information have you posted about on your social media platforms. If you have posted political views, gender related posts, race related posts, so it is a big no for creating a personal brand. It is just being like, if I support a view, it is not necessary the person who is searching for me would have the same opinion about that topic. So why to get into prejudice where you may be having opinion, but why to portray on social media? Keep it with you. Do not post if you wish to create a good personal brand. Now the action plan. Screen all your social media profiles. Delete all the inappropriate content. Pick an appropriate profile picture. Of course, a professional one. Write your personal statement. You need to get your homework done with this. You need to write what you are good at today itself. Unify your social media bios. One, they should be aligned with all. If you are talking about being a go-getter quality, that all your social media platforms should reflect that you are a go-getter. It should not be haywire. It should not be talking about, some other things. Now, how do I know that I have achieved what I wanted? Let's run the checklist through these Venn diagrams. How do I know I have created a brand? If you are able to portray the real you, if you are able to portray that you have something different from others and which is relevant for your target audience, then is is the time that you judge yourself that yes, you have created your brand. If you are getting opportunities, if you have portrayed it correctly and the differentiation is working for you, so you can say yes, you have created your brand. When do you know that the job you've entered is the ideal role for you? When you have the passion for work. One thing is what you're good at, and one thing is what you love to do. This can be two different things. This can be a one simple thing, but there would be something common into it. Say, if, for example, my strength is I am a graphic designer. I am good with graphics, and my passion, what you love to do, is maybe photography, maybe say architect, maybe a designer. So you have utilized your strength into what you would like to do into your job. So you may explore in this way as well, what you are good at and how you are utilizing your strength into the job you are looking for. So, and the opportunity what you wanted, you have got it. What you are looking for, you have got it. So you can say at that time that you are in an ideal role. The last but the most important thing, how can you say that you are successful? If you are influential, if you are in, if you say it is indispensable, incredibly happy. So if people are listening to you in your job, in the market, in the industry, if you have created a place for you called thought leader, if you are actually loving what you are doing, the work you are being assigned to, then and being in this, so if people cannot work without you, that time you should realize that you are actually successful. So this ends my presentation, but it is for you to create your own sunshine. And when is the time for it? It is just now. The time is now. You should work upon it, as it can be never. You can tap this opportunity on not being very much involved in the course of work when we are doing work from home, when we are having a number of free period where you can utilize all this to create yourself, to strengthen yourself in these times. Thank you. Now I open the meeting for conversation, for Q&A.
Yeah, students should ask questions. If anybody has been working with social media, I think they should be able to ask questions. Okay, Kritika?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so we don't see very many questions coming in. I don't see anybody is asking any questions. Once again, so what do we do? We take a call on closing it? Okay, so it was a very good session, I'm sure, and students must have been really very benefited. Anyway, and since you are there with us all the time, so they may get back to you subsequently by the time this whole material sinks in through them.
Yeah.
And one request, yeah. So and I saw the slides and the material was very rich. So one request, I think you can share the slides with all the participants.
Yes, sure.
So that they can look at it again, and obviously they can write to you whenever they want. And I really thank you for this initiative, Kritika. Thank you so much for your time, your efforts. You've really put in a lot of effort collecting so much information and giving it all together. So thank you once again. And probably what we will do is we can have a feedback. And if the feedback is good, maybe we can have another round of this for another set of participants subsequently. Okay?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
thank you so much, Kritika.
Thank you
And thank you for the audience. You've been very patient. I'm not saying participative, but you've been very patient. So thank you everyone for being here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right? Yeah. So we can close it, right? I will
I'll
leave the
share
meeting.
the recordings. I'll share the slides if possible.
Yes, you must. You must. And the recording, you can put it on the YouTube as well.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do so.
Okay. If you have a channel of your own, please do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you for the opportunity, ma'am. I thank all the audiences
Oh, please.
very patient and
The
listening.
privilege is all ours. We learned so much.
I've got some response from the alumni as well. There are many alumni who have registered. So I thank
Great. Very
everybody
nice.
that they have trusted upon me that I could deliver good content related to the topic. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. There was, I think, one question in the chat, how to increase subscribers on the YouTube channel. I'm not sure. So maybe you can just see if you need to answer that. There is a question.
Yes, there is a question. Nayan is asking, how can I increase subscribers on YouTube? There are n number of ways. There are some cheap ways and good ways as well. So if we are talking about various means, which is the only key is the content. If you give good content, engaging content, in YouTube you need to be engaging. If your niche is primarily informative, you may have limited audience, but with time your subscription, your subscribers would increase. It is not one day job, it is not one year job as well. If you are able to create consistently, be regular with it, say week by week, set your timelines right, and deliver promising content, then it is the way to create good subscribers. There are a number of you should always thank the people who are commenting to you. If even if there are spam comments, you should not be ignoring but taking it as a feedback. So these ways you can increase your subscription, your subscribers on the list. There are a number other ways as well. uh, that is altogether a different topic altogether, the tactics, the strategies you adopted. So you would if you read about it, you would get to know. If you still have any exploration points, get back to me. I'll help you resolve this issue. Any other question? Please share your views on digital marketing ethics. Yes, the ethics is the primary thing. We often see that there are thousands of subscribers on or followers on Instagram, but if you see the likes on those pages are just limited. So there are n number of ways people are adopting to increase their followership, to increase their subscribers, to increase their. So these ways would not land you in anywhere in future. They would not be successful for long term. So if you're working for long term, these cheap things would not work for you. Ethics are primarily the thing in the social media. If the people are seen, if you are creating a brand, and if you are not seen as an ethical person, if you are not seen as what you portray is wrong, if you are giving or portraying yourself as having some bad habits, or going for unfair means, adopting various shortcuts to have success, then you are not a brand to rely upon. So you must work on, have patience, have perseverance, have faith, and the results would come in organic way. No, organic is when we are not paying for it and we are getting results. So it is a must in all the social media platforms. Ethics are valuable for lives, and social media is part of our lives. Thank you. I hope I answered your query. Arshana, thank you, Vita. Shivam, thank you. Samya, thanks for joining it. Ayushi, thanks. Shivam, thank you, Vita. Tanu ma'am, thank you. I I hope. Ajay sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. I do not see any other queries. So shall we put this call to end?
Yeah, I think now we can close the session, Kritika. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Kritika. Take care.
Thank you
God
so
bless.
much, ma'am.
Be safe. Okay. Yeah.